Okay, we're on problem 62, and this is a centroid problem. Again, you would need to know the formula for the centroid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the whiteboard and go through it with you, all right? So let me go to the whiteboard, and let me scroll up here. And by the way, I was working on a problem, but I got interrupted by a student, so I had to stop doing it. And I was in the middle of it, and I was almost done with it. But I'm gonna do it again. So what's gonna be 62? Let's write this over here. And what do I got? I have a function. I'll write this over here, f of x equals e to the 2x. And I know I'm looking at the limits on it, and I'll put down what they're saying over here, that there's a region over here. And this region starts at 0 and goes to 1. And e to the 2x, I'm going to say sort of looks like this over here. And at one point, I just, kind of reading through it, I know what the region looks like. And this is going to be 1 over here. This is going to be 0. And this is the function e to the 2x. Right? We want to get the centroid. So the first thing I do is I got to get the area. And the area of this thing over here, relatively simple. It's going to be 0 to 1. And then it's going to be e to the 2x dx. I can integrate this pretty easily. It's going to be e to the 2x over 2. And the limits of integration is going to be 0 to 1. And what do you get there? Well, you get e squared minus 1 over 2. And that's what a is. So I got that covered. Now I want to do x bar. And let me write the formula down for you. X bar is going to be, let me point this out. This is A, and this is B, all right? So it's going to be, let's see, 1 over A, an integral from A to B, and then it's going to be x times f of x dx, all right? So I want to write that down for you. I'm going to write x bar down. And x bar is going to be, well, 1 over a is the reciprocal of a, so it's going to be 2 over e squared minus 1. And then go put the limits of integration. That goes from 0 to 1. And then you're going to get x times e to the 2x dx. Now looking at that, it's a more challenging integration for me. I'm going to say integration by parts. And I'm going to put that down for you. Oh boy, that's going to be tough. Not really. U is equal to x. Du is equal to dx. Let's see, I'm going to say dv equals e to the 2x dx, and v is equal to e to the 2x over 2. And let me just, kind of do some side work over here. Sorry about that. And let me get my pen back. Let me also get my eraser out over here. You know what? I don't think I can erase that. What's the difference, right? Close this out. A pen. I got to get my pen back again. And let's do it. All right? So really, I'm doing this over here. Let me get rid of this. So x is going to be x e to the 2x. And this is going to be x e to the 2x over 2 minus, let's see, that's going to be e to the 2x over 2. Put that on the outside, dx. And I think I can do that. What's that going to be? X e to the 2x over 2 minus e to the 2x over 4. All right, I just did the indefinite integral, by the way. Now I got to write this down now. What do you get over here? 2 e squared minus 1 times, well, I got to evaluate this now. So it's x e to the 2x over 2 minus e to the 2x over 4. All right. Now, by the way, I'm going to get rid of my my u substitution now. I think I'm okay with that. I'm going to get my eraser out, and I want to get rid of the u substitution. I'm sorry, the integration by parts, I mean. So let me erase this over here. I'm kind of done with it. This is a more involved problem. It certainly takes more time to get through it. All right? Let's do our evaluation now. I'm doing x bar. And you get 2. Oh, I forgot to put the limits down. The limits go from 0 to 1. So it's 2 over e squared minus 1. And let's put this down. So 1 was going to give me what? E squared over 2 minus e squared over 4. That's the upper limit. minus the lower limit, which is 0, and that's going to be plus, the reason that the first term disappears, and minus and minus is plus, so plus 1/4. That's kind of strange, doesn't it? Let's keep going. You can get 2 e squared minus 1, common denominator 4, and I gotta be careful here. So it's going to be 2e squared minus e squared, which is e squared plus 1. I want to simplify a little tiny bit. It's going to be e squared plus 1. This 2 cancels a 2 there. I'm left off with 2 times e squared minus 1. So I can say 2e squared minus 2. And this is x bar, by the way. So we found x bar. And now I want to do y bar. And y bar, oh boy, another computation for me, right? So let's write y bar down. I'll write the formula down for you. Y bar is going to equal 1 over the area, and that's going to be an integration from a to b. I'll do the integration. And that's going to be 1/2 the function f of x squared dx. Well, I got to do that. And, basically, it's the reciprocal of the area, and I kind of remember that. The reciprocal is going to be 2 over e squared minus 1. I kind of remember the a and b. It's 0 to 1. 1/2. I kind of remember the function. It's e to the 2x. When I square that, I get e to the 4x. And then you get dx over here. Can I do that integration? I think so. You can get 2 e squared minus 1. The antiderivative of this thing over here, let's see, the 4 comes down. When I mean the 4 comes down, it's on the bottom now. I'm integrating e to the 4x. That's going to be e to the 4x. I do see a 2 and I see a 4, which is going to be 8. And the limits of integration over here on this thing are going from 0 to 1. Let's write this down. You can get 2. You can get e squared minus 1 times, let's see, e to the 4th power over 8 minus, well, e to the 0 is going to be 1, so 1/8. I'm going to simplify, and I do see a 4. I do see an e squared minus 1. The 4 is coming from a reduction over here, and I see this. Then when I see e4 minus 1 on top, which is actually e squared minus 1, e squared plus 1. What happens there? It cancels. It's non-zero. So we left off with, and let me be careful about this, you left off with e squared plus 1 over 4. All right? So I'm going to say this is y bar and x bar. And what they asked for? They asked for y bar, x bar. Look at the key, though. And what I mean by that, you go back to your the notes that we've provided for you and see if it's true. Is y bar reported as this? Let me take a look. I do see that. Let me go back and see if the x bar has been reported. This is x bar, by the way. And let me take a look. E squared plus 1, 2e squared. Yeah, we're doing fine. Thank you.